All right, y'all, welcome to the show. We got a lot going on today. So in just a second, I have a video for you, which is absolutely terrifying. It's a Republican representative talking about how Republicans in Congress are going to orient themselves around Trump. And, I mean, shit, this could be like straight out of the late 1930s in Germany, what you're about to see. So we'll talk about that. We have a MAGA judge just blocked a rule that would have increased pay for 4 million workers, and like nobody's talking about it. Nobody. This stuff drives me crazy, man. This stuff is going to put me in an early grave. Then we'll get to some working class New Yorkers spoke out about how they voted in the election, and they said some interesting things. We'll get into RFK and his history of absolutely insane, completely crank beliefs that are untrue. Bill Maher has now spoken on why he thinks Kamala lost the election, and you're not going to be surprised to hear every single part of it is dead wrong. We have a corporate Democrat coming out and basically admitting Bernie was right. We have Michael Moore broke his silence after Kamala's loss, and Morning Joe, both Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, absolutely humiliated themselves by bending the knee to Trump in a pathetic way. So we'll talk about that and more. You guys know the drill, man. Everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time. It costs you nothing. You could also support the show on Patreon, or you could tip with that thanks button on YouTube. This stuff makes a big difference. Because remember, we are actual independent media, not fake independent media, like most of the outlets in this space. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into it. Here we go. Here's a Republican representative, and he's going to talk about what his relationship to Trump will be post-Trump winning the election. And I'm not sure I've ever seen anything as pathetic as this. This is as pathetic as it gets. Watch.
There's no question he's a leader of our party. So now he's got a mission statement, his mission, and his goals and objectives, whatever that is, we need to embrace it. All of it. Every single word. If Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head, we all jump 3 feet high and scratch our heads. That's it.
All right. We got some more from this guy. Troy Niels, I believe his name is. Here we go.
He's got a 10-pound brain. Elon's got a 10-pound brain, and we need to take advantage of that. If Donald Trump says terrorists work, period. Because Donald Trump is really never wrong. Think about it. He's never wrong.
Look, I think the conclusion is unavoidable, and I think people need to be honest with themselves when they talk about this. It really is just the case that on the right, they're more authoritarian. They're more authoritarian. So when the dear leader says X, Y, or Z, they all fall in line and it's X, Y, or Z. And is this unique to Trump in some respects? Yes, it is. But also, I'm old enough to have lived through the George W. Bush years. I'm old enough to remember every single Republican congressman, every single Republican senator out there ruthlessly and relentlessly making the case for the war in Iraq, even though it was total bullshit. It was based on lies. It led to hundreds of thousands of innocent people being killed and millions displaced, and it was just horrendous in every way imaginable. But they were defending that thing completely for over a decade. And I'm sorry, but there's just something on the right. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if it's environmental. I don't know if it's more hardwired. But there's something on the right where they're just like, oh, I shall now bend the knee and worship my emperor, overlord, God king, and turn my own brain off. And look at how pathetic this is. He's saying, I'm not going to think for myself in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, this is his reaction when Donald Trump what? The votes have still been rolling in, by the way, because our election system sucks and they're still counting votes. And in some states, they allow votes to come in after the actual deadline on election day, as long as you mail it before. If it comes in after, they count the votes. But anyway, there's still votes rolling in, and Trump's going to end up winning by maybe 1.5 percentage points in the popular vote. Maybe that. And what do? Oh, he's basically God on earth. He's basically Jesus come back to life. That's what he is. I mean, what do you do with this? What do you do with this? Could you ever imagine? I want you to seriously stop and think about this. Could you ever imagine Democrats acting like this in Congress? Ever? Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think this attitude would be useful in a scenario where you have an FDR-type president or a Bernie Sanders-type president, because they have a clear vision to make the country better, and they need all the support they can get from their party. So I would understand it in that context, but can you ever imagine Democratic congresspeople doing this for Joe Biden or for Kamala Harris? Never. Never in a million years. So look, I mean, it might trigger some people, but the facts are the facts here. There is just simply more independent thought on one side than there is on the other. It's just clear as day. This is like the most cuckish commentary I've ever heard. And this is his take. And also, by the way, it reeks of being a pathetic little weasel desperately trying to hold on to power, because in his mind, it's like Trump just got this absolute mandate. And so I want to make sure I'm on Trump's good side. That's what this is, right? He knows that his future is dependent on this game show host, bloated orange man liking him. So he's going to do anything and everything in his power to make sure that guy likes him. He's going to be the most sycophantic you can possibly imagine. But look, one of the realizations we've had in recent years is all that talk of, hey, we've evolved, we're better than previous generations, we've learned some lessons, we're more enlightened. That is total garbage. I mean, there's literally a genocide going on right now in Gaza, and Israel's carrying it out with our money and our weapons. That's happening right in front of our eyes. And here you have congresspeople in the U.S. sounding like they literally don't have any independent thought. It's a hive mind. This is a hive mind, and they're renting out their mind to Donald J. Trump, who literally ran a campaign on pathological lies. And this is where we are. So I don't think we've improved from previous generations. I think we're the exact same kind of people that ended up in World War I, that ended up in World War II, that saw the Holocaust happen. We're not any better. We're not any better. Just more time has gone by, but the hardwiring is the same, and this is the result. So how far would Trump have to go before this guy would pull the ripcord and say, you know what, we're done here? He's making very clear, I just wouldn't pull the ripcord. So in other words, if Trump does mass deportation and he gets rid of not just undocumented immigrants who are violent criminals, but let's say undocumented immigrants, or all of them, or let's go a step further and say not just undocumented immigrants, but some legal immigrants too, as he said he would do, like the legal Haitian immigrants, for example, or the Stephen Miller, let's denaturalize people and deport them. In that scenario, what's this guy going to do? Nothing. He's going to sit there cheering it on. He's going to help facilitate it. So how are we any better than previous generations? How are we more evolved? We're not. And then also, look, this is the extra sad part, is that you now have a bunch of signals coming from Democrats that, hey, we feel like in order for us to win elections, we have to capitulate to certain aspects of Trumpism, so we're going to do that. And so here we are in a situation where there's going to be hardly any pure resistance to the insanity we're about to see, and that is a terrifying thought. So there you have it. I can't imagine. Could you imagine showing your face in public after uttering words like this? Here, I'm going to play it for you one more time. Ready?
There's no question he's the leader of our party. So now he's got a mission statement, his mission, and his goals and objectives, whatever that is, we need to embrace it. All of it. Every single word. If Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head, we all jump 3 feet high and scratch our heads. That's it.
All right, one more time.
A 10-pound brain. Elon's got a 10-pound brain, and we need to take advantage of that. If Donald Trump says terrorists work, period. Because Donald Trump is really never wrong. Think about it. He's never wrong.
This is what we're going to have to deal with for 4 years. And by the way, they will smugly lecture us like we're the crazy people when they are on video saying shit like you just saw. You're not even an independent human at this point. You are literally a hive mind with Donald Trump, who, by the way, also on top of lying all the time, contradicts himself all the time, too. Which side are you going to take when there's a contradiction? Whichever one Trump ultimately ends up on, he'll take that one. And then if Trump changes his mind from that again, he'll follow him down that road, too. This is beyond pathetic. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.